From our Toronto studios, this is the Muslim News on Muslim Network TV. Assalamu alaikum, I am Ahmed Ramadan. A rare Jew, Christian, and Muslim alliance rallying to take back New York from Trump and billionaire influence. This and more on today's show. Stay tuned. Meanwhile, early voting in New York City's mayoral race shattered records this weekend. More than 164,000 people cast ballots in the first 2 days, nearly matching the entire early vote count of 2021. The surge came as Democratic mayoral nominee Zoran Mamdani drew a crowd of 10,000 people at Forest Hill Stadium in Queens. Supporters say Mamdani has energized new voters, especially in working-class neighborhoods. New York mayoral candidate Zoran Mamdani drew thousands at a packed rally in Queens, joined by Senator Bernie Sanders and Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Observers say the coming together of a Jew, a Christian, and a Muslim for democratic socialism reflects the city's diverse coalition backing Mamdani's campaign. The three framed the race as a fight to reclaim the country from President Donald Trump and his allies. Ocasio-Cortez said electing Mamdani would send a loud message against an authoritarian criminal presidency fueled by corruption and bigotry. Sanders said the election comes at a time when Washington moves towards an authoritarian society. He urged working people to unite against the oligarchs who hold power. Mamdani, who would be New York's first Muslim mayor, denounced anti-Muslim attacks on his campaign and vowed to take the city back from corrupt politicians and billionaires. New York Governor Kathy Hochul and other top state leaders also joined the rally, held amid reports of Islamophobic attacks on Mamdani by rival Andrew Cuomo. Polling day is set for November 4th, with early voting already underway. Surveys show Mamdani leading rivals Andrew Cuomo and Curtis Sliwa as supporters chant "Tax the Rich" and call for bold progressive change. The Council on American Islamic Relations, or CAIR, is demanding the release of British journalist Sami Hamdi. The political commentator, who has been critical of the Israeli government, was detained by immigration officials at San Francisco International Airport. He was in the U.S. on a speaking tour and had attended CAIR's annual gala in California. Hamdi was heading to another event in Florida when he was taken into custody. CAIR condemned his arrest as an attack on free speech, saying Hamdi's only crime is criticizing the Israeli government's genocide. A Department of Homeland Security spokesperson has confirmed that his visa was revoked. Muslim scholars and activists criticized what they called fascist-style repression of dissenting voices. CAIR says its lawyers are working to secure Hamdi's release and urged Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, to stop targeting critics of Israel. Dozens of protesters marched through Chicago's Little Village neighborhood on Saturday, denouncing recent raids by Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE. The rally took place in South Lawndale, a predominantly Mexican-American community where residents voiced anger over 2 days of ICE operations earlier this week. Marchers accused both major political parties of failing immigrant communities and demanded an end to what they called deportation terror. Organizers say the raids have created fear among undocumented families and urge city leaders to declare stronger sanctuary protections. Protesters vowed to continue demonstrations until ICE suspends enforcement actions targeting immigrants in Chicago. The mayor of the city of Brampton in the Canadian province of Ontario is standing by an ad that used former U.S. President Ronald Reagan's remarks to criticize President Donald Trump's tariffs. Patrick Brown said on Sunday that the ad tells the truth about Reagan's opposition to trade barriers. He backed Ontario's Premier Doug Ford, saying sometimes you need to throw a rock in a pond to get a splash. The ad, produced by Ontario's government, aired during the World Series and sparked outrage in Washington. Trump called it fake, accusing Canada of twisting Reagan's words. The Ontario campaign marked the start of a wider push against Trump's protectionist policies. Observers say the dispute could further damage trade relations between the two neighbors, which has already been strained by previous rounds of tariffs on metals and dairy products. A new nationwide poll shows that 75% of U.S. voters are deeply concerned about rising health insurance premiums amid the ongoing government shutdown. The survey by Data for Progress and Groundwork Collaborative found bipartisan worry. 83% of Democrats, 72% of independents, and 69% of Republicans said they fear premiums are soaring. More than half of voters also believe President Donald Trump and Republicans in Congress are not focused on lowering health care costs for ordinary families. The poll follows new government data showing premiums for Affordable Care Act or ACA plans on healthcare.gov could rise by an average of 30% next year. Democrats are pressing to extend ACA credits and undo GOP-led Medicaid cuts, but Republican leaders have refused. Observers say millions could lose coverage or face massive cost hikes. Groundwork's Elizabeth Pancotti said Trump's priorities lie elsewhere, accusing him of ignoring an unfolding healthcare premium cliff. A global tribunal in Istanbul has declared Israel guilty of genocide in Gaza, led by former UN expert Richard Falk. Details coming up next.
My name is Layla. I was an average kid until Zula Inc. broke into my life because my dad discovered time travel. After that, everything changed.
You're the new girl Layla, right?
Whoa! What if I don't fit in?
Abdullah!
Do I hear my name? Welcome to Vancouver, cuz.
Whoa!
You four have been specially chosen to take our project into the next generation.
You can time travel?
Abdullah! No! Abdullah!
Where?
Do you really think I don't know why we had to leave Seattle, Mama?
Now here, keep these close. These should never leave your wrist.
This virtual reality game is crazy! You can even eat! This is reality, buddy! We zoomed through a wormhole!
Oh no! My Go Watch! It's gone!
What does this do?
That's Al-Khwarizmi! You know, the father of mathematics! It's because of him we have algorithms.
I will not stop until your legacy, everyone's legacy, lies in ruins. Of course it was you. You little rascals ruined everything.
Your fate will be great. Just don't give up.
Time hoppers.
Welcome back. Heavy machinery entered Gaza on Sunday to begin large-scale rebuilding after years of Israeli destruction of most of the region. U.S. and Israeli officials have said reconstruction and reconstruction funds will be limited to areas Israel or its partners control inside the so-called Yellow Line. Nearly 90% of civilian infrastructure has been destroyed, leaving about 70 million tons of debris. The United Nations estimates reconstruction will cost around $70 billion. Scholars project it will take 25 years to clear the rubble. The Egyptian committee operating in Gaza delivered 12 heavy units through the Karim Abu Salim crossing. This follows Saturday's transfer of 6 units, including an excavator, trucks, and bulldozers. Last week, Gaza's government media office declared the enclave an environmental and structural disaster zone. Meanwhile, the Israeli army has reportedly allowed waste and debris from bordering illegal Jewish settlements to be dumped inside Gaza. According to Israel's Haaretz newspaper, trucks belonging to private companies were seen driving into Gaza. Israel continues to block journalists from entering Gaza. A recent decision by Israel's Supreme Court has granted the government additional delay concerning the entry of independent journalists into Gaza. The government told the Supreme Court it would review its policy and submit an update by November 23rd. The move follows petitions against the ban. For now, reporters can only reach areas inside the so-called Yellow Line controlled by Israeli forces. The Foreign Press Association has criticized the court's decision, calling it a blow to press freedom. Since October 2023, Israel has killed at least 238 Palestinian journalists. Right groups say Israel's restrictions aim to conceal atrocities. A global civil society tribunal meeting in Istanbul, Turkey, has declared Israel is committing genocide in Gaza. After a year of hearings, the Gaza Tribunal announced its final statement of findings and moral judgment. The initiative, inspired by the Russell Tribunal on Vietnam, was led by former UN Human Rights Rapporteur Richard Falk. Falk said the tribunal's mission was moral, to act where international law is blocked by power. Reading the verdict, Professor Christine Chinkin of the London School of Economics said, when law is silenced by power, conscience must become the final tribunal. The jury found Israel's genocide in Gaza, including starvation, destruction of homes and schools, and targeting of journalists, forms a deliberate pattern of exterminatory violence. It urged global sanctions, UN action under Uniting for Peace, and suspension of Israel from international bodies. As the hall erupted in applause, organizers said the moral judgment now moves from Istanbul to the world, calling on citizens everywhere to act when states fail. South Africa has apologized to UN Special Rapporteur Francesca Albanese after she was improperly served with court papers during the annual Nelson Mandela lecture in Johannesburg. Justice Minister Mamluko Kubai confirmed a local sheriff handed the documents to Albanese without authorization. The papers were reportedly linked to a U.S. lawsuit filed by a Zionist group. Kubai said, any such service must be approved by her ministry and processed through official legal channels. She has ordered an investigation and issued an unconditional apology to Albanese, the UN, and the Nelson Mandela Foundation. Albanese, who delivered the 23rd Nelson Mandela Lecture on enhancing peace and global cooperation, said she has faced personal sacrifices for speaking on Palestine. The Justice Ministry has pledged to prevent such incidents in the future. 5 Pakistani soldiers and 25 militants were killed in heavy clashes near the Afghan border over the weekend. The army said security forces engaged 2 large groups of militants in the province of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa's North Waziristan and Kuram districts on Friday and Saturday. 15 militants, including 4 suicide bombers, were killed in North Waziristan. 10 others were shot dead in Kuram while trying to infiltrate across the border. 5 soldiers also died in the intense firefights. The military said a large cache of weapons, ammunition, and explosives were recovered from the militants. Authorities have stepped up operations in the region, which has seen a resurgence of cross-border attacks in recent months. Mali has suspended classes nationwide for 2 weeks due to a worsening fuel shortage. Education Minister Amadou Saï-Savane announced on national television that all schools will remain closed in the West African nation until November 9th, with reopening planned for November 10th. The crisis caused by armed groups blocking fuel routes has paralyzed transport and daily life, especially in the capital of Bamako. Long lines have formed at gas stations, and public transport, including motorcycle taxis, has been disrupted. Universities in Bamako also halted classes, saying students and teachers cannot reach campuses. The U.S. Embassy in Bamako said non-essential staff and their families are leaving Mali amid the deepening fuel crisis and growing security concerns. It has also suspended consular services outside the capital as conditions continue to deteriorate. AI assistants often distort or misrepresent news. That's according to a new study that analyzed 3,000 responses from ChatGPT, Copilot, Gemini, and Perplexity. The research from the European Broadcasting Union and the BBC found problems in 81% of cases, with nearly half containing major errors. A Pew Research Center survey shows similar public concern in the United States. Roughly half of U.S. adults who get news from AI chatbots say that information is sometimes inaccurate. Only 24% of users find it easy to judge accuracy, and 1/3 say it is hard to tell what is true or false. Analysts say the findings highlight growing worries about relying on AI for credible journalism as more people turn to chatbot for daily news updates. All from our Toronto studios. Thank you for watching Muslim News. We are a community channel dedicated to bringing you stories you can trust. Please like, share, and subscribe to our content. You can also comment to let us know what you think of our coverage. You can donate now by visiting muslimnetwork.tv/donate. For more content, keep watching Muslim Network TV. Salam.